People in the Quad Cities are getting ready for major flooding along the Rock River. What steps they're taking to protect their homes and their belongings. Plus, the latest Democrat to announce their run for president made a stop in Iowa yesterday, where reaction Beto O'Rourke got hours after declaring his candidacy.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good Friday morning to you. I'm Alexandria Ikomoni. Thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. Redrick has the morning off. It's just a part of living life along the Rock and Mississippi rivers, but it doesn't mean it's easy. There is already flooding along two major waterways in the Quad Cities area. Those rising waters are this morning's top story. Neighbors are bracing for the annual flood season, but say it's getting harder to keep up. The Rock River reached major flood stage yesterday at about 14.3 feet. It's expected to crest at 16.3 feet this weekend. Local 4's Tahira Rahman spoke with neighbors in flood-prone areas along the Rock River, and she tells us why they say their flood time routines are starting to expand.
This isn't part of Brad Lager's normal commute home, but it's become part of his seasonal routine.
Price you got to pay for oceanfront property.
Lager lives on South Shore Drive in Moline.
When the water gets up a little higher, I'll just boat out, but we're not to that point yet, so it's just I have no choice but just to walk.
He says the river walk has become more frequent over the last few years.
My dad lived here for many of years, and he lived here for 8 years, and I never once ever had to walk in or out or to visit him or that. But since I've lived here, just last year alone, it was 5 times it flooded.
About a dozen other neighbors we spoke to agree. This family has had property on South Shore since the 1940s. The owner says she's had to break out the sandbags more over the past 4 years. So far this year, neighbors have already marked one of the nastiest floods they've ever seen.
When it flooded and then it froze, and then we had ice on the road, they made a big difference. That was the worst it's ever been.
But after 8 years, Lager says he's not giving up his oceanfront property just yet.
It doesn't bother me. I will continue to live here and go through this.
Rahman reporting. One neighbor says she plans to evacuate tomorrow morning. The Rock River is expected to crest on Saturday night. And Davenport's crew spent yesterday morning installing flood protection at Modern Woodman Park. The workers placed supports and laid in slats to build a temporary flood wall. At Credit Island, tables and chairs were moved and sandbags have been set up. The Mississippi River crest is now estimated to hit 18.1 feet for Sunday, which is major flood stage. The Carroll County Sheriff is investigating a fatal rollover crash. 62-year-old Mitchell Tim of Mount Carroll died. His pickup was found off the roadway near the intersection of Laron Road and Switzer Road. A preliminary investigation shows the truck was traveling south on Laron Road Wednesday night and left the road while rounding a curve, hit an embankment and fence, then turned over. No word on conditions leading up to that crash. The 2020 Democratic presidential field continues to grow. Beto O'Rourke of Texas began campaigning in southeast Iowa. Local 4 is your local election headquarters.
I'm running to serve you as the next president of the United States of America.
That was O'Rourke's announcement released yesterday morning on social media. The Texas native gained national attention during last year's midterm Senate race in Texas against incumbent Republican Senator Ted Cruz. Part of his campaign swing took him to Burlington. He answered questions for crowds at a coffee shop and local electricians union. O'Rourke talked about a wide range of issues, including healthcare, veterans, education, and migration.
I don't think there's ever been a greater moment in our lifetimes and for this country. The challenges have never been greater, or more severe, or more critical, or more defining for the future.
A recent poll of voters ranked the former congressman as 5th among caucus goers. O'Rourke's final stop of the day was in Muscatine. O'Rourke has his first interview after announcing his campaign with CBS This Morning host Gayle King, and that'll air today after Local 4 News this morning. There's a new detour for I-74 starting on Monday. Here's a look at that new traffic pattern. I-74 westbound into Iowa will be closed from Avenue of the Cities all the way to the bridge. All traffic will be detoured onto 19th Street at Avenue of the Cities north to River Drive. Iowa-bound traffic will have to get back on the bridge at the River Drive ramp. One of the 50 people indicted in the nationwide college admissions scandal has ties to Illinois. Elizabeth Mayer Kimmel is on the First Busey Corporation's board of directors, operating numerous banks in Illinois. Kimmel is accused of paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes to get her kids into college. We spoke to the University of Illinois about the protections against scams like this. They say there are layers of firewalls with the athletics department for prospective student athletes and within the admissions office as a whole.
In fact, there have been instances where we're denying students with perfect test scores because we're looking at the whole application file. Will they be a good fit at the university? Did they convey that in their application materials, not just what's your test score, what's your GPA?
Kimmel's daughter graduated in 2017. It only took 2 days after passing in the Illinois House for the Tobacco 21 bill to be put up for vote in the Senate. The legislation that would raise the legal age to buy tobacco products passed by a vote of 39 to 16. But raising the legal age was not what opponents argued against on the floor. The bill also removes all penalties for the possession of tobacco products by somebody under the age of 21. The Senate bill sponsor says she wants all of the attention to be pointed at the people supplying the tobacco products instead of punishing children. But Republicans believe removing the penalties will only encourage underage tobacco use.
Sometimes interdiction by law enforcement and then maybe by a parent and yes, a court to correct a minor's errant ways is a good thing.
But I could not sit another minute longer to hear an argument to vote against this bill is the fact that we're not ticketing and arresting kids.
The bill will now head to Governor J.B. Pritzker's desk. He hasn't indicted yet or indicated yet whether or not he will sign it. It will be a superstar-ending performance at the Illinois State Fair. Reba McEntire will close out the 2019 Illinois State Fair on Sunday, August 18th. McEntire last played the grandstand in 1999. The Country Music Hall of Fame member has won 16 ACM Awards, 15 American Music Awards, 9 People's Choice Awards, 6 CMA Awards, and 3 Grammy Awards as well. How amazing is that? I'm really excited about this. I've never seen her perform in concerts or anything like that, so it might be worth a trip to go to the State Fair. Ash?
It might be. She is one of my absolute favorites.
Really?
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm tempted now.
What's your favorite
for
song?
Sure.
I have to ask.
Probably Fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's just a classic for sure.
For sure.
Alrighty, well, out the door here today. It's not too fancy. It's kind of cold a little bit compared to yesterday. We're in the mid-30s right now, but you factor in the feels like temperatures. It feels like it's in the 20s. Raw temperature-wise, we've dropped just about 15 to 20 degrees compared to yesterday. And like I said, it's also very, very gusty too. 36 in the metro area, 34 in Galena and in Aledo right now. We do feel like we're in the mid and lower 20s. Like I said, wind chill is just going to make things feel nice and cool all day long. Satellite radar showing clouds out there, but those are slowly clearing here as we go through the day. And we're going to be looking at temperatures to climb back up into the mid 40s this afternoon. So not super warm, going to kind of be one of those cool days throughout, but overall, I think that sunshine should feel pretty good this afternoon. Just make sure you bundle up tight. Tonight we're back down into the 20s, so it's going to make for a cool start for our St. Patrick's Day festivity Saturday, but the winds will calm down a lot.
Okay, well, hey, 40s is still pretty good. It's better than what we've had in the past, so.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all, especially for St. Patrick's Day. It usually always feels a little cold, but I think we'll fare pretty well this weekend.
I'm excited about that. Thanks, Ash. And coming up, making sure your child is safe around water. What new recommendations the American Academy of Pediatrics are suggesting parents follow.
Time now is 5:09. Your top health stories are right after the break. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you. With Redrick Terry, Alexandria Ikomoni, and meteorologist Ash Simpson. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.